Hello students, today we will discuss about Congreve's art of characterization. Okay, Congreve holds a particular place among the writers of Restoration Comedy of Manners. And like his themes, his art of characterization is also unique and perfect. This art slowly matured and reached its culmination in the view of the world, where such immortal figures like Mirabelle, Millamant, and Lady Wishford were created, who are on the one hand typical restoration men and women, but on the other hand possesses some great human qualities which impart a particular glamour to their personality. They are neither puppets of the dramatist nor are they simply representative of any particular view, but they are essentially individuals who live in the pages of the play and become unforgettable in spite of coquetry and foppish nature, and their individuality makes them stay in our memory. Okay. First, a large range. They possess a color of probability, a realism which makes the character living and realistic, even though the element of exaggeration is certainly there. But it was because it was the fashion of those days. And for a dramatist like Congreve, it was impossible to neglect this factor. There is some exaggeration, but this does not take away their effective realism, nor does it make them ludicrous or incredible. Rather, it imparts them with character, charm, and they become even more fascinating. Okay. This is more true in the case of charm, and they become even more fascinating. This is more true the case of the way of the world, and this is why it is believed that Congreve was at his best in matters of characterization in this play. The portrayal of this Fauvery has best in matters of has also made them a little satirical, and sometimes they look to be very witty and sharp at the same time. In this play, Congreve has not confined himself to the portrayal of some particular types, but his range in this field is large enough. There are a variety of portraits, and he reveals his wonderful capacity to differentiate one person from the other. They are fools like Petulant and Bitwood, but at the same time, villains like Fanon. We find fashionable men like Mirabelle, and simultaneously they are rude and uncultured country gentlemen like Sir Whitfield, who are always looking for refining their manners. Congreve is also equally at home in delineating the characters of men and women, of the members of the upper class and of the servants, of the city gallants and the country squires. In all these portrayals, his great talent strikes us quickly, and he reveals them through dialogue as well as their own speech. This adds to their artistic value on the one hand and makes them graceful at the same time. The whole society of the period has been reproduced. Next, wit and vivacity. The characters of Congreve are best revealed in their wit and vivacity of their language. Not only the refined and cultured people of London society, but even the fools contribute a lot to loveliness of the play. Sometimes it has been objected that the false wits are permitted to stumble on too many villains. The characters like Petulant and Bitwood are blockheads, but they still have some bit in their talks. They always contradict each other, and so we often find them quarreling together. Their talks are full of smiles and comparison, which may not mean anything, but they are certainly entertaining and pleasing. Whitwood is almost reckless in his haste and is never in a better form than when others consent to compete with him in the game of similitude. These country gentlemen are lovers, but they are nowhere serious about their love affairs. They take it quite casual where they succeed or fail, and this is why they are never intriguing. Like the city fops, Pendleton and Whitwood simply enjoy. They are never mentally disturbed like Fennel or Mirabelle because they enjoy in their own way. They have no ulterior motive either in love or getting inheritance. This is why such characters can be compared to the rustics, and they complete the picture of the Restoration Society. The behavior suits their character quite perfectly. Lady Wishford is a peculiar character creation of Congreve. She is a mixture of coquettish as well as virtuous characteristics. Even the servants have their special accents. Foil sweetness, impertinence with flattery and mincing. Some struggles to be gentle. Millamant's whimsical manner of speech is always unmistakably her own and wears the stamp of the individuality. Her flippancies are changed with certain meaning. It is apparent that her excessive gaiety is forced and artificial. Next is superb characters. So far as the characterization in the way of the world is concerned, it is undoubtedly a complicated play, but the characters are superb. The most charming and vivacious character is that of Millamant, but the other characters are also equally charming. Even Pentland and Bidwell and Foyle are also remarkable. Mrs. Fennel, Mrs. Marwood and Fennel are of the lower sphere. Each one of them is contrasted in pair. Millamant is contrasted with Lady Wishford. Pentland is a foil to Whitwood. Mirabelle is contrasted with a Fennel villain, and as good a bit as Mirabelle, Mrs. Fennel and Mrs. Marwood are both guilty of illicit love affairs. The two maids, Foyle and Minchin, are in sharp contrast. Sir Whitfull is contrasted with his half-brother Whitwood. He is unrefined and coarse, whereas Whitwood is sophisticated and polished. Next are witty characters and reporting. It is true that Congreve is not thoroughly complete in his statement, but it is true that he has taken the pole. The wit of Millamant Mirabelle is natural. Fennel's wit is natural as Mirabelle's Lady Wishford. Mrs. Fennel and Foyle speak the language and play the role they were expected to play. Their wit is their own. Out of 12 characters in the play, only 2 characters whose wit is an affected one are Pentland and Whitwood. Whitwood had been originally a countryman, and when he arrived in London, he tried to acquire polish and a witty manner of speech. Congreve makes his characters so witty that they never open their lips without some flashing remark. It is crowded in every sentence, and the speaker is not so much interested in what he says as in how he says it, but almost all the characters have individuality of their own. If they are all witty, the wit of them has a distinctive flavor of its own. No one can come within a ring of Millamant, who is the crown and perfection of all that is brilliant and witty, without being instantly impressed. Perfection of all that is brilliant and witty, without being instantly impressed. Fennel and Mirabelle have also differences in their speech. Mirabelle and Fennel react to external circumstances. Their manner of speech is apparently alike. The differences in speech arise from the differences in their character. All the characters in the play are individualized, and their traits are prominently brought out. Congreve says that the characters do not represent an any particular individual but have been compounded from a number of them. This imparts them the color of remoteness. They are real characters only idealized by the dramatist for stage effect. Congreve may be wrong in saying that the play is satire on folly and affectations. And the function of dramatist is in one piece to expose whole Wells assemblage of coquettes and views. When we see Sir Whitful, we find that he cannot help uttering some homely truths of a London drawing room. He feels baffled by the conventions of police. Polite society. Fennel, though briefly down, is one of Congreve's most sympathetic characters. Mrs. Fennel is badly educated, but she joins the higher society, though that remains an embittered, quietly dignified, and a faithful friend to her former lover Mirabelle, despite her many weaknesses common to her class. Lady Wishford is full-length portrait of the old coquette. Congreve has enjoyed her with a gift of shrewd, cutting irony and a keen sense of humor. She is a source of some hilarious comedy in the play. Fennel and Mrs. Marwood are painted in very dark colors. Mrs. Marwood is greedy and corrupt, but Millamant and Mirabelle overtop them all the warfare of their wits and heart is the very sense of the drama. Mirabelle is undoubtedly the hero of the play, although he has by no means been idealized, but Millamant represents the film. Although he has by no means been idealized, but Millamant represents Congreve's greatest trump in characterization.